Hello, this is Dr. McDaniel. I want to give you a quick run through of the course. So when you log into the course, this is what it should look like. I'm going to highly recommend that you read through these announcements. Okay, read the welcome message, the course description, and especially how this course works. One thing you will need is this course ID right here, McDaniel 34484. You'll need that to log in to My Math Lab, and I'll show you where that is in a minute. There's also a list of due dates. So we have suggested due dates. So for instance, Chapter 1, suggested due date for the homework is August 30th, but the absolute due date is the 4th. So these suggested ones are just to kind of keep you on track to get through on these, okay? Make sure you get these done by the absolute due date. And Proctor U. So for this course, you're going to do a proctored test. You can either do the test at a proctoring site, an approved proctoring site, or, and preferably, to do it using Proctor U, which is an online proctoring. You can do this in the comfort of your own home. Make sure you read through all this and make sure that you have your computer checked out prior to, maybe a couple days before you actually do your test. Otherwise, you'll be stressed out trying to get your computer to make sure that it has the necessary specs for you. Okay, so make sure you read through those. Print out, I would print out this list here of due dates, put that on your fridge or by your computer. Let me go through the content of the course. Let me switch over if I can to student, view as a student. Okay, and press on content. Okay, there's not a lot here, and I'll be honest, the reason is we don't really use D2L but for one thing, and that is your email. So I'm just going to click on the first thing, instructor information. So the primary email is the D2L email, which is found right here. That's where you're going to send me email. That's where I'll send you email. So make sure you check that at least once per day. If it's an emergency, you can do that and also send an email to my MTSU email address. That's where I work. And so if you will send it there, I check that seemingly every hour. So D2L email for sure, but if it's an emergency, you can send it to my MTSU email. But I will reply within D2L, so make sure you send it through D2L. Go to the next page. Okay, I'll let you read through that. Okay, I'm going to let you read through that. Just review expectations. Course syllabus. Let's go through this really quick. Trying to make this video under 5 minutes. Here's our course. We have probability and statistics. We have course topics, quite a few topics. Much of this you already know probably, mean, median, mode, bar graphs, things like that. Course requirements, obviously a computer, the textbook, and I'll show you below. We can have a physical copy of the book that comes with an access code, or you can just buy the access code online and there's an ebook. That's what most online students do, but I leave it up to you. And we have homework is 25% of the grade. You'll have pretty much for every section that we do, there's a homework assignment between like 5 and 20 problems. And then for every chapter, there is a quiz. And then there are 2 tests, basically a midterm and a final, that are 30% of the grade. And here's our grading scale, just sort of a typical 10-point grading scale. So the only 2 assignments that are proctored are the midterm and the final. So make sure you account for that. When you register with Proctor U, I recommend that you go ahead and do this early. Okay, and I'm going to let you print this out and just read through it one day next week or this week whenever you're watching this video. And make sure that there's nothing confusing in there for you. Okay, so we pretty much don't use D2L. We're going to be using My Math Lab or My Stat Lab. If you're repeating the course and we're using the same textbook, you should not have to re-buy it, my understanding. But if you're repeating it, it's been a few years, or if you're not repeating it, you'll need to buy access to this website. which is basically like buying a textbook. So you're going to click on this link, and you'll need this code right here, which I've already posted, the McDaniel 34484. You can copy and paste that in. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that so I might be able to simulate some of this for you. So let me click on this. And if you need to register, click on register. If you've already registered for a MyStatLab account for maybe another course, you can sign in. Okay, so your email address, instructor course ID, that was that McDaniel 344, I've already forgotten it, number, and the access code or credit card. So you can either, again, buy a textbook that comes with an access code. If you buy a textbook, make sure it comes with an access code, or you can buy the access code online. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and paste that number in. Oh, I'm doing this now, so it's not accepting registrations, but it should accept registration by the time you are running this. And in fact, I wouldn't be able to go past this anyway. So make sure you go ahead and go through here and get access to the book. Once you get registered, you will see a list of your courses. You'll probably just have one using MyMathLab, MyStatLab. And just click on that course. It would be called Math 1530 Tennessee eCampus, Fall 18. Okay, the bulk of the work here is going to be under assignments. I'll come here in a second. Homework help, gradebook, e-text. Let's just look at a couple of these. Let's look at these in order. Let's look at the assignments. This is where all the assignments are. The hub of the entire course is right here. We've built in the reading. You need to click on this, I believe, to get any credit at all. So make sure you're clicking on this, doing the reading. Occasionally, maybe a video may even be assigned. And this is a fairly readable textbook, so I really recommend that you read through. A lot of students will just jump straight into the homework. Now, I'll be honest, you may be able to get away with that in the first chapter or two. But once we get through chapter 3, it's going to be a little tricky if you haven't had this course before. Okay, so here's a copy of the text. And you can just advance to the next page and read through and see some of the important. I mean, it looks just like a textbook, right? And occasionally you'll even see some multimedia elements within the book that you can click on and view. Okay. And we've pulled out the videos from here, so you can watch a video over types of data. Sometimes these are self-made videos that are created by a colleague of mine, and sometimes they're from the publisher. So I recommend watching those. Occasionally I'll get questions. I don't understand any of the stuff, and I can see that you haven't watched the video. So watch these videos and take some notes. And then come to the homework. So here's Chapter 1 homework. Now Chapter 1 has a lot of questions because there are several little sections in Chapter 1, and we kind of pushed it all into one. So let me not look at Chapter 1. Let's look at one that actually has some problems to do. Let's go to Chapter 3. So Chapter 3 homework, let's go ahead and look at that. See, we only have 10 questions for 3.1. Let's click on this first one. And let me show you what this would look like. You pull it in, and here's your problem. Sometimes they're multiple choice, sometimes they're free response. So you read the problem. If you're completely stuck, you have no idea where to start, question help. You can watch a video on the problem. Not all of them have videos, but some of them do. You can open the textbook at that particular point, and it'll pull it up in that particular part of the text. Sometimes you'll see view an example. Let me see if I can get to one that has a view an example. There we go. Most of them do, actually. So click view an example, and there'll be an example very similar to that. Here's the unfortunate part of the view an example, is that they do almost everything by hand. And I eschew doing these things by hand. I usually use the technology. So if I'm doing this one, for instance, finding the mean, I am not going to add these things up and divide, although that's not terribly hard. Even with a calculator, it's pretty easy. I'm going to encourage you to use StatCrunch to do this. Okay, so if I'm doing this one, I'm actually going to open this up in StatCrunch. Now, some of the homework help videos that I'll show you later have help on how to do this. So if I'm doing this, I'm going to show you how to go to Stat, Calculator, or actually Summary Stat, Column, select the column, and Compute. And there's the mean. And there's the median and anything else that we need. Okay? So it just takes a little familiarity with where to click and where to get these values. And then just make sure that you are rounding correctly. Okay, so that's another place to get help. Again, if you're completely lost, you can click Ask My Instructor and try to be as specific as you can with your question. If you are, if you just say, I'm confused with this problem, I'm not going to be able to help you a whole lot, as I don't know what part you're confused on. Try to be as specific as you can, and if it's a multi-part problem, tell me which part you're confused on. Maybe you're just confused on part C, and I spent all my time sort of building up A and B, and where I could have easily answered part C. So be as specific as you can with your question. Okay? We'll leave this. And then after the end of each section, each chapter, there's a quiz. And it looks like you get 6 attempts to do these quizzes. So I take the highest attempt. So don't wait until 11 o'clock that night, if they're due at midnight, to start doing the quiz, because you'll only get 1 attempt. It is automatically submitted at midnight, so make sure you get those done, or 11:59 in this case. So make sure you get these done well before the due date. That allows you time to ask questions and to sort of review what you missed. Online courses should go without saying, but I'll say it. Make sure you are staying on top of it. Try to get a day or two ahead, particularly early on, and then you'll stay ahead the whole way. Now, if you do get stuck on a problem, come up here to Homework Help, and I've created some videos that are built into the course. Like if you are on Chapter 3 on Medium Mode and StatCrunch, you can click on YouTube video, and this will be a video of me going through that problem. Okay, where I am walking through that problem. If you want, you can speed it up, right? You can go to Settings and speed this up to, 1.5. And then when you get to a part you don't quite understand, you can slow it back down. Okay, so again, you can look at the problem number and see what that corresponds to, and I even tried to put a brief description of what I was doing for every single chapter. I tried to anticipate where the problems would come. Now, if you're having trouble with like 2.4.11, you can probably look at 2.4.10, and it's probably going to give you something close. Not always. So if you do have a question, click Ask My Instructor, but often the questions are the ones that I've already anticipated you have problems with, and I'll usually have you watch that video yet. Now, you can certainly say, yes, I have watched it. It still doesn't help. I need more help. Then I can help you. But make sure you watch that video before sending that. Gradebook, this is where you can see a list of all your grades. This will be updated almost automatically. If you see something wrong, let me know, and I may have to reweight some stuff, but usually that is accurate. If you want to go right to the e-text, you can click on the e-text, and you can pull up the book from here as well. There are a couple places where this book has been embedded into the course. Okay, so here's the course, and you click this little button over here, and you got table of contents, and you can drill in to any particular chapter you want. Like here is 2.2, looking at histograms. Okay, and I'll be honest, personally for me, I need a physical copy of the book, but I leave that completely up to you. Whichever way you learn, you'd hate to lose out on a letter grade just for trying to save $50 on a book. That would be for me anyway. So that's certainly up to you and your budget and your sort of learning style, so to speak. You can drill into certain chapters from here as well. Go to chapter 2, and here while we've assigned many of the videos and things, you can actually go directly here to some of these. So again, I'm going to leave that up to you. What you do. You can watch a video presentation over 2.1. These are all publisher generated. Okay, so that's all I have. A little longer video than I wanted to be, but I wanted to make sure you could get in and get started. Again, email me if you have any trouble at all. Thanks again.